Coming to you live from our Auckland Park studios, this is Prime News on SABC 3. Here are the top stories.
The promise of the Constitution is far from fully realized.
President Cyril Ramaphosa has described the Constitutional Court as a pillar of strength and a guardian of South Africa's democratic order.
Currently, we don't know the motive, and it doesn't look like they took anything.
The Walter Sisulu University community in Mthatha is still reeling in shock following the fatal shooting of a senior staff member near the university's Nelson Mandela Drive campus last night. The family of the late former Zambian President Edgar Lungu has announced that Lungu will be buried in South Africa. Good evening and welcome to Prime News on 3 on this final day of the week. My name is Beki Mutumomolete and I'll be guiding you through the most important stories of the day. Stick with us as we guide you through the key events that are shaping our world this evening. Let's take a look at our leading stories. President Ramaphosa has announced the formation of a joint committee to finalize the process of establishing an independent judiciary, a long-standing call finally taking shape. Ramaphosa was delivering the keynote address at the 30-year celebration since the establishment of the Constitutional Court.
The milestone of 30 years of the establishment of the Constitutional Court was celebrated at the doorstep of the institution that was designed to, through its judgments, not only heal the injustices of the past, but to lay a foundation for a prosperous future.
The Constitutional Court has developed a rich body of jurisprudence that has significantly shaped and transformed South Africa's legal and social fabric by setting important precedents and clarifying principles that safeguard the rule of law and human rights.
As the work of the Constitutional Court was praised 30 years on, President Cyril Ramaphosa in his keynote address reflected that a reality needed to be confronted on challenges to constitutionalism.
The promise of the Constitution is far from fully realized. Persistent inequality threats to judicial independence that are often voiced, lack of implementation of court orders, and the erosion of trust in institutions remain pressing challenges.
In addition, in a significant announcement, the President revealed that the long-standing call for the independence of the judiciary will come into fruition soon.
A joint committee is now in action to finalize this whole process of the independence of the judiciary.
Kani Mapanga, SABC News, Johannesburg.
In other news, the president has condemned the ongoing Israel-Iran conflict, urging for it to come to an end through peaceful dialogue. Speaking on the sidelines of the 30th anniversary celebrations of the Constitutional Court, Ramaphosa says that such tensions have a negative global impact on the economy as prices begin to rise. He added that the country is already seeing a rise in fuel prices.
The world has become a very dangerous place now, with all these conflicts that are flaring up into the destruction of infrastructure and loss of life. And we want to continue calling on all actors that dialogue, peacemaking is the only way in which to solve problems. The disputes that arise in various parts of the country, including the dispute between Israel and Iran now, should be solved through dialogue. And we say that it must happen immediately without resorting to further airstrikes, to further bombs. Lives are being lost, and it is actually having a devastating blow on the economies of the world because there's now uncertainty and prices are beginning to rise. We are already suffering from price rises in our fuel because as the conflict is raging in that part of the world, fuel becomes more expensive, which we import at great cost. So we want the conflict to come to an end.
The Walter Sisulu University community in Mthatha is still reeling in shock following the fatal shooting of a senior staff member near the university's Nelson Mandela Drive campus last night. This is now the second death at the institution in just 2 months. A student was also tragically shot and killed on campus in April amid protests over substandard living conditions in the institution's residences.
Yet another shocking incident at the Walter Sisulu University in Mthatha. The fatal shooting of the staff member Snetemba Mpambani has left the community in shock. The deceased was found by a colleague after allegedly hearing gunshots while leaving the university campus. The colleague later found the deceased inside a stationary vehicle with multiple gunshot wounds.
The university community is deeply saddened and shocked by this senseless act of violence. We condemn the incident in the strongest terms and call for justice.
The minister is profoundly disturbed that yet another life has been lost under violent circumstances at a university. The safety and well-being of students and staff must be prioritized at all times.
The motive for the killing is unknown at the moment. Police have launched a massive manhunt for the perpetrators.
The acting provincial commissioner of Eastern Cape, Major General Thandiswa Kupiso, has mobilized maximum resources to investigate this crime. The case has been assigned to the Provincial Serious and Violent Crime Investigation Unit, which is actively pursuing all leads.
Members of the public with information that could assist the investigation are urged to come forward immediately or contact their nearest police station. Fundiso Mhlekude, SABC News, Mthatha.
Meanwhile, the National Police Commissioner, General Fani Masemola, has since confirmed that the deceased is indeed the Deputy Vice-Chancellor of the university. Masemola was updating the media in Mthatha earlier this evening.
We are here at Culu in Mthatha, where last night, more or less exactly this time around 17:30 or 17:40, there was a shooting that happened right here where we are standing, as reported by Brigadier Keys, the Vice-Chancellor of the University, Walter Sisulu University, was shot right here. 44-year-old Zinetheba Mbambeni was shot right here and was found, as the Brigadier indicated, he was told about the incident and they came out here, they found him shot dead in his vehicle. He stays apparently in this premises, and we have established an investigation team comprising of multidisciplinary teams of CI, organized crime, serious and violent crime, to look as to what is the cause of this shooting and or what is the motive behind, because currently we don't know the motive. And it doesn't look like they took anything because his laptop, some cash was found in the car, and his cell phones were also found in the car. So surely the motive can be robbery.
Welcome back. The family of the late former Zambian President Edgar Lungu has announced that Lungu will be buried in South Africa. This follows a prolonged dispute between the family and the Zambian government on how to send off the former leader. Lungu died in South Africa while receiving specialized medical treatment. The Lungu family says he will be laid to rest in South Africa in accordance with their wishes. The family stated that this period has been emotional and that they are grateful for the condolences extended from across the continent and the globe. They've expressed their gratitude to the government of South Africa for their support and for honoring the family's decision to hold a private funeral and burial here in the country. Lungu's family has called for peace among Zambians during this time and thanks all friends, supporters and members of the public for their understanding. The family says the details regarding the funeral arrangements and burial will be shared to the Zambian and South African public in due course. Some residents of Mahonisi outside Malomulele in Limpopo, where politician Floyd Shivamu comes from, have wished him well and pledged to support his political career wherever he goes. Shivamu announced on Thursday that he would embark on a nationwide consultation drive to assess if he should establish a new political party.
Born and bred in this dusty village, Nyiko Floyd Shivamu started his school career at this modest primary school. His former schoolmates tell fond tales of his passion for fighting for human rights. Former teachers tell stories of a hard-working learner who boosted the school's overall performance.
Floyd was very much intelligent. He was a hard worker when it comes to schoolwork. And one can see that there is future in him.
Relatives say the family is proud of Shivamu.
As a family, we are very proud of him because he cares not just about people from the village, but black people in general.
Shivamu has 2 master's degrees. Locals say he often reaches out to the youth in the village to encourage them to prioritize education.
Absolutely vote for him, because when he started EFF, I automatically join EFF. So when he go to MK, I automatically join MK.
And he also contribute in schools. He buys sanitary pads and then school shoes for the student.
Shivamu says he remains a member of the Umkhonto weSizwe party. Biman Baloyi, SABC News, Kamahonisi, outside Malamulele.
MPs on the Higher Education and Training Portfolio Committee have emphasized that misleading the committee and by extension Parliament is a serious offence that will not be taken lightly. The committee aims to get clarity on the process of appointing SETA board chairpersons and is questioning Higher Education Minister Dr. Nobuhle Nkabane's previous assertions.
The Democratic Alliance wants to get to the bottom of the SETA board appointments. It says it has filed an affidavit with the Ethics Committee, and it has also written to the Public Protector, Advocate Koleka Kaleka, to investigate. The party says the issue it has is that out of the 573 people who applied, this specific bunch was selected.
And it doesn't make sense that out of 573 applications, that the 20 that were finally appointed were those people. And when we asked about the process that was followed, the minister assured Parliament and the Republic of South Africa that the process was independent.
This debacle started with the appointments of the board chairpersons of the sector education and training authorities. Concerns were raised that these names were of politically connected people. When questioned, Minister Nobuhle Nkabane assured the committee that an independent panel was tasked with recommending board appointments to the SETAs. The committee then doubled down, asking for the list of names of the panelists. Committee Chair Tebogo Letsie says the committee is concerned, however, there must first be clarity on whether it was misled or not.
As the committee have resolved that we will call the ministry, the DGs, and the panelists to appear before Parliament.
The EFF and MK party agree if found to have lied, the credibility and authority of Parliament will come into question.
This is what the Constitutional Court judgment told us in the so-called Zuma years, when it said Parliament failed in its work to hold the executive accountable.
Abre Barbia, SABC News, Parliament.
Thank you for staying with us. The Gauteng Health Department says it's intensifying vaccination campaigns to deal with the measles outbreak in the province. There have been more than 180 confirmed measles cases between January and June this year, with the majority reported in Johannesburg, Ekurhuleni and Tshwane.
Measles is a highly infectious viral disease. A person can get infected from the air droplets released through coughing and sneezing by an infected person. Within 14 days, an infected person would start to develop symptoms, including rash and fever, among others. So, If you come into contact with an infected person and start showing symptoms, you need to get to your nearest healthcare facility to be checked.
South Africa has been having an outbreak of measles since 2022. There was a campaign conducted. Despite that, we continue to see the cases of measles. And this year, we saw in Gauteng almost 181 cases. But these are numbers that are obviously increasing.
There is no need to panic. However, parents and guardians are urged to take children to healthcare facilities to be vaccinated.
I don't think that we need to really press panic buttons, but I think responsible citizens, as what we are appealing, is that if you know that there is a campaign that is taking place, campaigns are nothing new, they happen from time to time, just make sure that children are taken to those facilities and they get vaccinated.
The Gauteng Health Department says it has intensified its campaigns to manage the outbreak. The department says immunization coverage for the second dose of the measles vaccine remains below 75% in Johannesburg, significantly below the level required to prevent outbreaks. Calvin Lula, SABC News, Johannesburg.
Hot off the pitch, the preparations are well underway for Banyana to go and defend their Women's Africa Cup of Nations title in Morocco next month. Banyana will be without their star player Thembi Kgatlana due to personal reasons, while Jermaine Sobonswe has announced that she will be retiring after this year's WAFCON.
As defending WAFCON champions, the expectations are very high for Banyana. They played a very competitive football recently and were crowned champions of the Three Nations Challenge involving Botswana and Zambia. Banyana were eventual winners after beating Zambia 2-0 in the finals. Even though the stakes are very high, South Africa's eyes are set on the continental glory once again. And Banyana captain Refilwe Jani says their mandate is still the same.
I don't think it's going to be different. The objective is still the same. We have to go out there and try and defend the title. The objective stays the same.
With just weeks away to defend their title, Kgatlana, who is a key player in Banyana's squad, was not considered. The 29-year-old requested to be left out of the team due to personal reasons. It is believed that Kgatlana have opted to play in the FIFA Women's Club World Cup for her Mexican team, Tigres Femenil, in the event that clashes with the WAFCON tournament.
Yes, losing any player and a player of Thembi's quality is a huge loss. But like in 2022, we had players step up. When Thembi got injured, I think when Thembi got injured, the whole country went into mourning, but we had planned and prepared for different scenarios.
Maestro midfielder Amkhela Mutau says they are ready despite all the challenges.
I think it's a versatile group, but then there's also similarities. All the teams that are in our group have played them before, and for us it's just to focus on ourselves, just like we've done in the previous tournament.
Mahudi Mlapo, SABC News, Auckland Park, Johannesburg.
It is now time for us to unveil nature's canvas. Your weekend weather forecast lies ahead. Coming right up.
Thank you very much and a very warm welcome to the Weather Desk. Time for us to look at those conditions over the country. We start looking at tonight's conditions. We're expecting some rainy conditions to move towards the coast. We're talking 30% chance of showers and rain over Kaweha, stretching all the way into George and into the mother city for tonight. Moving towards the central part of the country, it is quite clear for tonight, with that high pressure system dominating the weather over the country for tonight, and also for tomorrow. It is going to be a cloudy day. Move towards that low field of Mpumalanga, stretching into Limpopo. Those isolated showers and rain is still expected for tomorrow as we move toward the southern parts of the Western Cape and also parts of the Eastern Cape for tomorrow. Also expecting some morning fog patches as we move towards places such as Alexander Bay and Springbok, which means that visibility will be reduced over those places in the morning. For tonight, it is a level 2 warning of some damaging waves as we move towards the coast. over the Western Cape and the Eastern Cape, and also is moving to the interior over Kabeja and surrounding areas. It is a level 2 warning of interior winds, which means that it will be difficult to navigate as seas move towards the coast, and also some beachfront activities can be disrupted. For tomorrow, we're still expecting those level 2 warning of some damaging waves and winds as we move towards the coast, and also level 2 warning of damaging waves as we move towards KwaZulu-Natal for tomorrow. So please, let's be careful over those areas. Looking at our temperatures for tonight, it is freezing as we move towards places such as Bloemfontein, stretching all the way into Bethlehem. We're talking -3 rather over Bethlehem for tonight. -1 over Vryburg and Kimberley, so also freezing over those areas. Also expecting a freezing night as we move into Sunderland. We're expecting a low of 0. 11 over Cape Town. Upington dropping down to 1 with an average of 5 as we move towards Pretoria and Johannesburg. For tomorrow, it is quite a cool day over Johannesburg with a high of 18. Should be warm over Musina and Palabra, with Musina peaking at 26. 23 over Durban. Also expecting a cool day as we move into Sunderland with expecting a high of 16. Remember, it is freezing tonight over most of Free State, but for tomorrow it will be cool with a high of 16 over Bloemfontein and also over Bethlehem. Cape Town expecting a high of 18. Staying focus now for Sunday. Cold front expected over Cape Town, causing a 30% chance of showers and rain as we move into the mother seat, but should be cold as we move towards the central parts of the country. Those isolated showers and rain also expected over Limpopo and also over Mpumalanga. It's gonna be a cool day over Mpumalanga and Limpopo. And also those cool conditions expected as we move toward the southern parts, especially as we move into the interior of the Eastern Cape. That's all the weather I have for you. Stay tuned.
And that is how we wrap up this evening. Thank you for choosing Prime on 3. We wish you a wonderful weekend ahead. From myself and the team, stay ahead. Good night.